Right. How y'all doing? It's been a while. I was thinking maybe do welcome to 2024, but after chatting with a few mates, it was kind of, you've been gone a long time. Where you been? How about a New Year's Eve 2023 recap? And I was like, well, damn. All right, cool. Didn't realize it had been that long. That's advance warning. If you're not into grumbly, moany, whiny stuff, this may not be the year in review that you might be looking for, because 2023, without a doubt, has been absolutely miserable. One of the most god-awful years I've had in quite some time, and I've had some belters on the negative scale. On the nega scale, I've had some pretty bad ones in recent history, but this one's definitely up there. So, before I kind of get into all the negative stuff, we'll kind of roll in with some highlights, but this was supposed to be my year off. I was supposed to be having a chill out year. Most people started 2023 that I know, they floored it. They put their foot on the accelerator as hard as they could, and they figured by the end of the year, they just wanted to know where they'd end up. I went the other way. I don't often slow down, rest, look after myself, that kind of thing. I thought, I'm going to ease off, slow down, reduce all of the things that I do, and just chill out. Figure out where I want to go. And I had a few things to do, and my lot all figured that I was in karma debt until at least 2024. But given how this year has gone, I'm probably going to be in karma debt and more until at least 2025. So, the highlights of the year. And there ain't many. I'm sorry. There aren't many. My boys. My baby boys. My youngest son has just turned 13. They just turned 13. He turned 13 this year, which means he finally gets to hop into VR. Which means that my oldest son is older than 13, because he's already in VR. Which means that I'm an old man. I have 2 teenagers now. It's nuts. And they're great. I love them. I managed to keep them alive long enough for them to hit 13 and 14. What is going on? How did that become a thing? How is that a thing? And for all of the folks that have been hanging out with us over all these years, since the daily vlogs back in 2011, 2012, those little guys, when they used to toddle about. Don't you guys feel old now? I feel really old. I feel really old. Another one, I got to hang out with a mate for, well, really, I've known her for 20, 21 years, but she's only been in my neck of the woods twice in that time. And, well, this year was one of those times. I got to meet her and her husband and hang out, and it was a good laugh. And because of that meeting, I was encouraged to get one of my motorbikes on the road. So, motherfucker, it's the door. Mate. It's always something. It's always something. Where was I? I've lost my train of thought now. Motorcycles? Was that the last thing I was talking about? That was ages ago. I got my motorcycles back on the road, or a motorcycle back on the road, because I needed to go and meet my mates. We met up next town over, and it was so good. That was like a highlight of the year. Getting a bike repaired, MOT'd, taxed, job done, fantastic. Great day, with the exception of the losing my glasses off of the end of Southwell Pier. But no, it was good. But I think that pretty much covers the highlights of the year. If I had to be brutally honest with you, like I said, I didn't have anything really set for the year. I had 3 goals. Was it health, ID, and finances? And depending on how you slice it, if I was strict about it, a big fat donut. 0. None of them. Well, what do you mean? Let's go through it. Health. Initially, I had to go have checkups to make sure I weren't dying. Spoiler alert, I haven't died in 2023, but I was cleared of a lot of things early on. Said things weren't ideal, but they weren't terrible either. Nothing really to get overly worried about. However, in the grand scheme of things, I'm having surgery. That's what all this is about. My hands are a bit dank at the moment because I've been to an allotment and I'm covered in blisters. But this didn't start. I didn't start having the extra stuff done until the end of the year. So I didn't really get all of my health stuff sorted. I got a chunk of it sorted, but not all of it sorted. So do we consider that a win or whatever? ID. I needed government issue ID. It's funny, actually, the things you can't do without ID. You don't think about it until you don't have ID. You can't open a bank account. You can't rent something. You can't mortgage something. You can't get a loan agreement. You can't buy certain products. You can't access certain web services. It got to the point where certain accounts I had were being closed because I couldn't prove who I was. I got married in 2020, and like an idiot, I changed my name. And so all of my previous ID was basically in the bin, and all of my paperwork had been sent off to government bodies to get updated, and COVID hit. The lockdowns hit, so my stuff was just stuck in limbo for years. Well, I got my ID sorted, I got my driver's license sorted, obviously, because I was on the road. But I didn't get my passport sorted. So I didn't get all of my ID sorted. Do we count that as a win or as a no? I'd like to have got my passport sorted. I've got all the paperwork filled in to get my passport sorted, but I just kind of rested on it once I'd got my driver's license done, So, it's a half on that one. And finances, my God. That was, well, I did say earlier, didn't I? I'm going to be in karma debt and other debt between now and the rest of time, basically. I managed to stuff my finances very, very, very quickly. Very quickly. By July... not great. In fact, I'm probably actually going to be spending most of 2024 fixing the damage I've done to my finances in 2023. It's not been great. I won't lie. I did say at the start of the year I wouldn't do anything with credit agreements or anything like that. Probably went out the window within a few months. And I set up for some projects that probably aren't going to happen. Now they definitely can't happen because of my finances, unless, I don't know, the angels descend and I manage to pull one out of my ass. I mean, it's not so bad. I mean, I can sort that one out just by doing nothing, really. Just don't spend. But we're in the middle of a financial crisis and everyone's feeling the pinch and groovy. And it's just, with that one really hit me, realizing that some projects were going to go in the bin. Some things that I wanted to do were just going to stop happening. I wanted to go on trips next year. I wanted to go to... I was going to meet up with Zabermall in France. He was going to come over to the UK. And we were going to do the compass points of the UK with the Suffolk Ram of Ram Nerds. And we were going to film it. I bought some extra bits to do it. I upgraded my old moto vlogging setup. I bought myself some GoPros and some new audio gear to do that, and I bought enough for like basically me and Zaber to do it. And in buying that stuff early, well, now there's no guarantee the trip's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. The gear's just going to sit there. I mean, I can use it for other stuff, but it stings. It kind of hit the confidence. And the other one really was that I was winding back this year. And my confidence has been at an all-time low. Because somehow, I don't know how I've done it over the years. I mean, I can think of a few ways. When you give in one area, you take from another. But I said I was going to step back. I've done less. And I've been punked out for it. Like I'm still doing too much. Like I'm unable to allocate time sufficiently in the right way. I was like, this, what was supposed to be a really chilled, get things sorted and figured out kind of year hasn't been that way at all. After the financial hit, buying the kit that may not be used, I've been punked out several times for time management. I've left projects that I've been in or been a part of for years. I left Rand Nerds this year. And I think it was September. I did the 24 hours, and that was basically, I'll see you later, guys. Because I couldn't take the people. I kept on getting hammered on for doing things. You know, if I took any time for myself, I'd get punked out by people, and I couldn't believe it. I'm being told to look after myself while simultaneously being ripped, like pulled from the other direction, saying, "Come on, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?" It was just, I didn't know what to do. I still don't really know what to do. People are telling me, do this, do that, sell out, fucking go do this thing that makes someone else unhappy. Go do that thing that goes and makes someone over here unhappy. You just don't know what to do. You can't please everyone. But I found it to be really, really stressful. And it got to the point where I suffered with imposter syndrome. And it got so bad that I was sitting on things for months to the point that they'd actually become irrelevant by the time I felt comfortable to do anything with them. I still look at things from 8 years ago that people I know have shot and go, I can't do that. Or things that they've worked on. I can't do that. That looked great. And I'd have it in my head. That looked phenomenal. That looked great. And I actually went back and looked at some of it. Like recently, I was like, that looks terrible. That was shite. You know you can film something better than that. You've done it before. There are examples of it. Just go back onto this channel. The Oculus Quest 3 Dots of Death video. There's like a 5-minute video. It's only some little B-roll shots and some kind of tutorial-y stuff. The Alien Bastards video from years ago. Just little bits, nothing particularly fancy. And I'm like, you can do this, but you don't have the confidence. But then I look at it, I go, I can do that. Sure, let's just set this up, set that up, put the recorder here, put the microphone there, job done. And yet, for some reason, I still look at it and go, no, I can't do it. I'll never make it look that good. I'll never make it look that good. And then a couple of examples, I think, was it the Christmas video? Depending on how you looked at it, there was macro blocking to hell and back. There was color banding and blocking in the blacks, depending on how the displays are set. Something I'm really struggling with of late. And what was the other one that I did where the audio was absolutely terrible? I'm sure, well, I thought it was terrible. Was it one of the recent videos or something like that? There was just something. That was it. I took a hearing test. It's one of those stupid self-diagnosis hearing tests that one of my mates was suggesting. He's like, yeah, do it. And I'm quite proud of my hearing to a degree. I have quite sensitive hearing, or at least I thought I did. And I took this sodding hearing test, and it said, yo, by the way, you're practically deaf, son. Like, you are deaf as a post. It didn't say that, but... depending on, and you have to take these results with a pinch of salt, because if the hearing test isn't calibrated correctly for the headphones that you're using, it's going to skew the results, because each headphone is going to have a different response curve to different frequencies. So and the volumes of a certain frequency may be higher or lower. And if it's not compensated in the test, then that'll skew your results. I did this test and I was like, yeah, you've lost like 19 decibels of hearing, both sides. And I was like, oh my God, you're supposed, by my age, I'm 38, you're supposed to have lost a bunch in the high frequencies, roll off from about 6 kilohertz. You know, it's when people start needing like hearing aids and stuff. The weird thing was, all of my friends who did this test as well, they had this roll off around 4 to 6 kilohertz, where the treble starts to roll off. It's like high frequencies, like cymbals, and in some cases, like the fizz of a trumpet or whatever. High pitch, like bird song, and I'm just trying to think of other like high pitched sounds, really. But you get what I mean, like the flashbang in a Call of Duty game, right? They all had this roll off. Mine was a flat line. Flat line, bass to treble, flat. So all I needed to do, everyone's like, you're deaf, which kind of really screwed with my confidence. Really screwed with my confidence. Thinking, am I mixing these things right? Are the levels right? Is this right? Is my hearing going? I suffer with tinnitus as well, which is the flashbang sound in Call of Duty. All of my mates have to equalize frequencies so they can hear things normally. Now, if they start to lose their hearing at about 6K, they have to turn that stuff up so it sounds flat. In my case, assuming this test was accurate, all I have to do is crank it. Just turn the volume up a bit, and I've got a full range of hearing. It's level across. Just have to bring it up. But it really shook my confidence. My hearing shocked my confidence. Funny enough, I then got a letter from the ear, nose, and throat clinic at the hospital to go and get my hearing checked. I didn't ask for it, but they're asking me to do it. I've got more rounds of trips next year at the hospital. Freaked me out. My hearing freaked me out. The video with the blocking in the blacks and the shadows really just did me in. This will probably look absolutely terrible, and I'm terrified of that. But all it is an end of year roundup. I have no confidence to do things anymore. There's so many things I wanted to do next year that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it to a level that I find sufficient, which is actually quite common for people in my group, in my friend group. Zabe is a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist. Shade was a perfectionist. But there's like a degree where you have to go, it's good enough, it's ready, release it. And I don't know. You know? I've been so stressed this year. It's not even funny. I don't know what to do. I've not known what to do. I've literally been pulling my hair out again with stress. And then with the health thing coming back up, they only started, you know, doing the bits. Wow, man, I blistered my hands up bad today at the allotment. But, you know, doing the stuff, like getting this stuff done, kind of trying to get my hands fixed, and that they're concerned that I could lose the feeling in my fingertips, which is not unheard of, but I already have issues with my hands anyway. This could mean that when they start working on my other hand, I might not be able to use my hands properly partway through next year anyway. Like, whilst I heal, right? Because I have to keep my hands wrapped up to stop infections. Because I'm a bit blasé when it comes to my health. I don't really care, right? It's not that big of a deal. No, I just don't want to worry anyone else. And they said, yeah, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're probably going to end up losing your fingers. If this stuff gets infected, if this stuff gets infected, you're probably going to lose your fingers. And I was like, I kind of like my fingers, so I'll be good. But that means that there's going to be limitations to what I can do next year. I want to be playing guitar this year. Not a thing. So it's mostly been a downer this year. Finances have killed me. It's my fault. It's my fault. Did I really sort out health if they're still working on it now? Did I really sort out my ID if I haven't got my passport yet? I mean, it's only one form and, what, 50 quid? Something like that. 80 quid? I don't know. And that'll be done. But there have been some good bits, though. As I say, my boys are big, good kids. Got to meet up with my mate. It's been a weird one. I've been left behind by all my friends that have put their, but then when they put the foot down, when they went full throttle, I got left behind. But just gotta try and get the confidence back on track. I don't know. Now I'm rambling. Sorry. I had everything kind of planned out, and now I've screwed it. Oh my God, and I even forgot about the people who passed away. What a dick. Not really something else you want to think of, but it reminds you how old you are. Several people have passed away this year, and my God, they weren't old. They weren't old. So I've got pretty simple goals for next year, but I'll cover that tomorrow. If you got to this point, thank you very much. Very much appreciated listening to me waffle on. Gonna go back to sorting out the wife's computer. If you can hear that whine in the background, sorting out a little stream rig. And the boys are going to be going live tomorrow for the first time, I think. Well, for the first time on their own channels. So, just need to get back on the horse and do. Don't wait around. There's something you want to do. Because life is short. Never know how much time you're going to have. There's something you want to do. Just go for it. Find a way to do it. If we spent as much time finding solutions to the problems that we bellyache about, we'll be in a much better place. Hope this finds you well. I'll see you all with a bit of luck. 2024.